Hey there, I'm Tim Bradley from TitanVolunteers.com. That's me in the photo right here. And I created this website as a time-saving tool. I've been a volunteer coordinator for about 10 years, and when I first started, I was using a lot of spreadsheets, sending a lot of emails, and I thought to myself, we can automate a lot of this and save a lot of time and help more clients per year. So I created a website with the goal of just making it as efficient as possible. So let's go over some of the features. It's all about time saving. We have had 191 events so far since 2016. We were founded in 2016. We're growing. We have great time-saving tools for volunteer coordinators. We've hosted some large events in the Los Angeles area, such as the Los Angeles Marathon, Long Beach Marathon, Surf City Marathon. Anyway, let's dive right into the features. The biggest feature of the website is that volunteers can create their own groups. This saves a lot of time because the way I used to do this is I would track it all in a spreadsheet and I would email the groups and I would suggest certain shifts to them. I'd be like, oh, this shift has 30 spots and fits your timetable. Is this one okay? They'd have to email me back and say yes. I'd put it into my Excel spreadsheet. Or if they said no, I'd have to email them a different shift. There'd be a lot of back and forth. It could take a week between emails sometimes. So having volunteers be able to create their own groups, pick their own shifts, reserve some spots saves so much time for the volunteer coordinators. No more of that emailing back and forth and tracking things in Excel. There is a company report, like the main control panel page, where you can look at all of your events, and it'll give you color-coded um, alerts and suggestions about how the event is doing. So every starting about 10 weeks out, it starts giving you these percent below above targets. It wants you to recruit about 10% of your volunteers per week, and it'll let you know how you're doing. Like this event, it says it's 9.6 weeks out, and it's 3% below target. If you're doing well, it's green. You know you don't have to send email blasts that week. You don't have to focus on that event. If it's red, it's not doing so hot. That's one where you might want to do extra recruitment and kind of focus on that one for that week. The signups are quick and easy. We don't make the volunteers create an account. We don't have multiple page forms. We try to collect as little information as possible because we feel that volunteers are more likely to sign up if the sign up form is easy to use. So that's kind of the philosophy. One page, no login needs to be created. Just fill out the basic information, sign the waiver, click sign up, you get your confirmation email, bam, done. There's a tool to kind of suggest to groups when they're signing up which shifts really need groups. It'll be highlighted. And by the way, this is also what a little bit of what the group sign up form looks like. Next to the shifts that they want to sign up for, they'll type in the number of spots that they want, how big their group is going to be, and then the website will reserve that number of spots for them. The reports in the website have a lot of color coding, which is really useful. Like this right here is a list of the shifts and how many volunteers have signed up for each shift. It's called the shift report. And this column on the far right, as you can see, is color coded, so you know right away the shifts that are green, above 90% in this case. You probably don't have to worry about those. There's plenty of volunteers. Shifts that are yellow, it's like maybe you have the minimum number of volunteers, but you could do some more work and get that a little bit safer. And then of course the red ones are the ones you'll want to focus on. And the color coding just makes that pop right away, and you can tell right away what you need to focus on. Unlike some websites where you have to add a shift one screen at a time, ours lets you mass add and mass edit shifts. A nice little time saver. It's all on one screen. Type it out. We have a tool where you can automatically generate verification letters. You can either send the verification letter generator link to the volunteers and they can generate their own, or you can keep that link private and use the tool yourself to generate these nice verification letters, which have the race logo and your information and a signature even. There's a really easy way to duplicate events for next year. So if you get everything set up one year and then you want to easily duplicate it the next year, you just hit a button and it'll copy over all your shifts. You don't have to retype your shifts, and it'll adjust all the dates for you. There are multiple tools to generate waivers and sign-in sheets with the click of just one button. Um, really awesome. Um, Save a lot of time that way too. You just click the button and then print it out, and it will include the waiver text that you have set up for your event. You can customize the waiver text. Pay as you go with no contract. I notice a lot of bigger, more established volunteer websites, volunteer sign up websites try to lock you into a contract. Ours is pay as you go. First event is absolutely 100% free, so you can try out the software for yourself. And then after that, it's flat 200 per event every time. Volunteer data is secure. We have backups every 24 hours. The backups are encrypted. We keep your information 100% confidential. All of the public sections of the website, the sections that volunteers use, are mobile friendly. You can resize it, and you have things like the checkbox icons a little bit bigger so that they can click it more easily, stuff like that. On this particular screenshot, the logo moved over to the right from the left. We have features to help keep your data clean. So if a volunteer types a phone number in the report that generates, or the Excel spreadsheet that you download, the phone numbers will all look the same. There's some data cleanup that happens. There's some duplicate email detection, duplicate name detection, things like that to try to prevent duplicates. There are features for companies and organizations that want to have a lot of events and a lot of different volunteer coordinators. There is a way to add a manager that can see all the events. You can add multiple managers, like your volunteer management team. And then if you hire volunteer coordinators that only focus on specific events or for a certain market, then you can add them and you can type in the names of their events separated with commas, and it will only display those events to them. It's a good way to kind of keep some of your data private, because we want to keep, volunteers' data as private as possible. We don't necessarily want to be shouting it to the world. This is a great time-saving tool that was recently added. This is for big events, this probably saves as much time as allowing group signups. Dragging and dropping volunteer instructions and parking passes. So each row in the screenshot is a shift, and you'll take your file and you'll just drag it to each shift, and you'll take your parking pass and you'll drag that to this column, and it'll automatically upload, and then you click a couple buttons, and then you can email the volunteer instructions and the parking passes out to all your volunteers in a couple of clicks. And if different shifts have different volunteer instructions and different parking passes, this makes it super easy to do that. We're all about saving time. This is all about making the process more efficient. Volunteers like the website. It's easy to use. As you can see, we got a pretty good rating here in this volunteer survey. They had 22 people answer. And that is a good overview of the features. Thank you for watching.